For this video, we are going to show you 5 fun ways to create random names for your role-playing games.
Ta-da!
Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming. What you see before you are some of the tools that I use for random name generation for my solo role-playing games and my large campaign with my players. Now what I thought I would do today is to show you 5 different methods that I have used that are fun methods, maybe not always the most efficient methods, but still fun ways to produce some names for your games. The first method that I have used is to roll and organize letter dice. The dice that I'm going to be using for this method I got from the game Alias. Now it's possible to find dice with games like this, but it's also possible to go into your local game store and just find a bucket of random dice with letters on them and buy a bunch of them and start rolling. The method is really easy. Take all of the dice that you have gathered, in this case I have 7 dice with letters on them and a blank, roll them out and try to organize them in some logical way that makes sense for a name, and go ahead and feel free to add vowels if you need to in certain places. So once I've organized my dice, I've come up with the name Preface. Now Preface could be anything. It could be the name of a character, it could be the name of an item, it could be the name of a place, a town, a river, anything. And as you see here, I didn't use all of the dice, I just used some of them. I didn't even use the blank die. I could have used the blank die as well to throw in any other letter. And like I said before, you can throw in some vowels if you need them or other letters to try and fill out the name. But I had plenty of good dice to use for this, so Preface is the name we will be using. The second method I'm using is Scrabble Cards from the game Scrabble the card game. This is a very similar method to the first method with the dice, but it is just a different tool and it has a bit of a different feel. What we are going to do is to shuffle these cards and then to lay them out one at a time on the table until we get a name that we like. Now if you want a real challenge, you can lay the cards out sequentially and try to make a name out of that, once again adding vowels if you need it. Or if you want an easier name, you can just lay the cards out and then pick the ones out you need for the name. So there you go, a bunch of random letters that I've been able to shuffle together to make the name for the town of Helenor. One cool thing about these cards is that they are double-sided, so on one side you have the big M, on the other side you have the big O, and you see both of those letters are here on the top and the bottom, so that you have more possibilities to pick out letters if you need them. The third method involves using Magic the Gathering cards. I have previously shown this method in my video Solo RPG with Magic the Gathering, but it's worth going through this again. What you want to do is to take your Magic cards, your commons, your uncommons, shuffle them up, pull them out one at a time, and see what letters or syllables you get to try to combine them together to get an interesting name. So here is a stack of cards that I have taken out of my library, and we're just going to go through these one at a time and see if we can construct a name out of this. We have Dream Thrush, Lightning Drelip Pirate Ship, Drelipin. Let's take that name, Drelipin, and write it down. Very cool, Drellipin. I like that name a lot. That could be a great name for a town or region, maybe even the name of a sorceress. Really cool, got a good feel, Drellipin. And once again, with this method, if you draw a card and you don't like the letter or the syllable, then don't worry about it. Throw that card away and grab the next one. The point is to try to form some really cool combination of letters or syllables to get a great name. The fourth method is what I am calling the page turner. For this, you're going to need a book of classical literature. In this case, I have The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. And then I need to grab my 2 dice so I can roll a D100. The method is simple. Roll your D100 and then turn to the page of the book that the dice show. Pick out the first name or word or phrase or syllable and then use that. If you need to roll again, go ahead and do that until you get a name that you like. So let's go ahead and start off by rolling our dice. All right, let's open this thing up. Huckleberry Finn, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, turning to page 14. And here we go, 14 right up here. And let's just scan the top of the page on page 14. Boy to run about town with a blazing stick. I like that word, blazing. Ooh, and then let's keep going here. Gang. Oh, let's put those two together and make the word, the phrase, the blazing gang. Super cool, the Blazing Gang. Now this could be the name of some gang that runs around in the village where you are. It could be the name of a tavern. It could be the name of a code word for an operation. Who knows? I mean, wow, cool. So we've got a really great phrase, the Blazing Gang. If we wanted to, we could roll more, but I'm going to stick with that and just keep that right now. In this case, we combine 2 words to make a phrase. You could also just find a name that you like and keep that. You could also just grab some syllables, put those together to make a different kind of name if you want. But I really like the method here of finding words that pop out on the page and just putting them together and see what happens. The fifth and final method I'm going to show you involves story cubes. In this case, I'm using Rory's Story Cubes Fantasia. You could also use other story cubes from Rory's Story Cubes or other sets of story cubes that you can find. The point of this method is to roll the story cubes and combine pictures in order to come up with an interesting name. If you want a real challenge, you can roll 2 dice at a time. If you want to make it a little bit easier, you can roll them all and then pick out the ones that seem relevant. Let's show you the method where we in fact roll 2 dice at one time and try to come up with a name. So the 2 pictures end up being something that is evil and a minotaur. So this will be a fantastic name for a tavern. Welcome to the evil minotaur. Can I get you a drink? Let's continue with this method and say that there is a hero or a champion sitting in this bar when our party walks into the tavern. Let's go ahead and roll all the Rory Story dice and see if we can pick out 2 pictures that would give us a good name for our champion. All right, I really like what I see. I'm going to grab 2 of these and see if we can get a name out of it. All right, we have a crown, which is like royalty. We have a trident. So I'm going to say this. Our champion's name is Baron Trident. And not only is it Baron Trident, but he is a part of a group that is traveling with him. Let's put these 2 pictures together and we will say that it is the Wolf Guard. So we have Baron Trident, who is a part of the Wolf Guard, who is grabbing a drink at the evil Minotaur. And there we go, we have already got a wealth of names to work with just from rolling a few simple dice. Well, there you have it, folks. 5 fun ways to come up with randomly generated names for your role-playing games. Now, I realize that these methods are not the most efficient. If you are in the heat of the moment in a game and you need a name now, maybe it's better for you just to consult a chart of pre-fabricated names and draw from that list. But if you want to have something really unique and really different, especially during your prep time, then these could be really fun methods for you to try and develop some names that maybe you would not normally see, names that might push you a little bit outside of the box of what you usually use. If you appreciate this kind of content and you'd like to see more of this, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment below, and I will continue to make more tips for your role-playing adventures. Most importantly, thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming for the future of gaming.